and welcome to today's episode. Going for some Evermore art. Why not? I really ought to set up a schedule, you guys. That's the thing. Kinda difficult for people to catch me like this, doing the random thing again. Aha! Oh right, let me see. Doom, 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 doom. Lovely background music. Just gonna post it in a Discord just to make sure that some stuff is happening. Hello, hello, and welcome. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll be happy to answer them as I go about this. And seeing how our own lovely Discord bot is not working, just going to do the manual announcement. There we go, that's better. All set up. We can focus on the things that we have to do. At least things that I have to do, because I'm running a D&D campaign and I do have some art lingering about for this lovely fella, but yeah, a little bit more background information because we're talking about a Manshoon clone. Like, who is Manshoon? Manshoon is one of the big bad evil guys in many a D&D campaigns, depending on how the campaign you're playing. For sure, Waterdeep has an option and that features him, which is one of the campaigns I am running. A lovely color palette that I'm going to try and stick to and see what happens. And in the top corner we have an amazing picture of an amazing artist. You can totally check him out and find him on Google of what the Manshoon, the Zentra Manshoon looks like, or at least an interpretation thereof. There's not that much art lingering about of this lovely fellow. And the thing is, he has clones. So I came up with an entire clone theory for the campaign that I run. And to sum it down in a short story, his name is Ernest. And Ernest is pretty much aware that he is a clone. He got turned into a vampire and's been around for quite some time. Pretty depressed little fella. Not a happy camper to come across. So yeah, I was hoping to do a bit of a portrait of this this version. It's Ernest. So giving shape to Ernest, like Ernest, a Manshoon clone, living his own life, doing his own thing, sitting more in the background, watching it all unfold. Probably either not interested a lot or as little as possible in an attempt not to get too involved with the whole showdown of things. Can't imagine him to be fairly interested in Thingamageddon. Welcome to the show, welcome. Again, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. We're going to draw Ernest, a Manshoon clone. I think I've said that a couple of times now. So let's see how far we can get with this. Still the very beginning of a portrait, and I'm sticking to a very interesting color palette that I just nicked from Google. Looking for color palettes and just like, oh, that's something I like, and then I did do some alterations with the hue and saturation. Like I did tweak it a bit. Where goes what? I also know of a person who made an entire painting with red, and that was so bloody interesting. Saw that on TikTok. Several weeks ago. So yeah, if you lot have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, and I'll happily answer them. And even showed some of the skills that may be used in the industry. We're gonna go for some cape. I mean, we're talking about, and he's probably has a different hairdo. I mean, they can all have different hairstyles. Is a thing. And also feel free to give some suggestions because I'm winging it as we speak. I'm just thinking about a character that I set up for a campaign. I haven't completely written out his behavior, his mannerisms, and his whole arc is pretty much based on a character that hails from One Piece. Amazing anime show, by the way, but you really have to go sit down for that one to get into that. Side view. And I kind of want him to be like Kaido. He certainly is a wee bit too tired of everything, but wants to go down in a amazing epic battle. People have to beat him, and he's not coming down easily either. Going to be very hard and difficult to get this one down. So I'm not going to give it give a freebie to my party, but it's a high risk, high reward situation where if you defeat him, you will get lots of goodies. There's an entire treasury behind the throne room. So yes, and he goes by the name Allback in game. That's what I set up for him, because he slew the vampire who turned him into a vampire, the Night King, Orlak, and has taken over the West Gate. So Ernest goes by the name Orlak, or at least Allback at the moment, like part of the name. And that is his whole thing, his whole setup, being grumpy. With reasons, of course, with reasons. A little down there. And for some reason right now I have half a heart just to say, you know, he's that man from the meme that goes like, oh, I'm so salty, and sprinkle some salt on there. Like woo. Salt. But we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna sprinkle salt around. It would be hilarious for a vampire to sprinkle salt, but why would they do that? Do they have a demon plague or something? Can't imagine it. I want his expression to be so dreary, so tired, and fierce at the same time. It's like this fierce grandpa look. Like, I'm tired of you youngsters. Grr, get out of my backyard. And giving him a bit of a classic look, like having that moustache with a little goatee. Oh yeah, every character does need something memorable. This is a bit of a saving point for me. Gotta keep on building with the colors that I have. Ooh, let's go with some purple. Where to put it? A little bit over here, a little bit over there. That's the way it goes. maybe we could do something interesting with the features, like that we see in the reference, or like having some sort of. I think it is still a piece of cloth, but does he really need that flamboyant color? Does he? That's a $1,000,000 question, and I think not. I do think that he'd fancy himself some lovely fancy clothing, or whoop. Let's go over here. And that he is a little broader. So I want to say he's going down with a big fight. At least that's what he wants, and that's why he's such a bully in town. I made him kill in the background a lot of NPCs that might be valuable for the party to have around, and that's a slow dripping feed. The minute I mentioned his name in the campaign is when he kind of started tackling in the background other NPCs that I have running around in the whole circus. To try and grab their attention. At first it's just NPCs that they don't care about, NPCs that they don't even know or heard about, but he's coming closer and closer with NPCs that they might care about, and he's going to tackle them to if they don't defeat him, that is, in this upcoming battle. That's the thing that will happen for sure. To motivate them to go after this fella and give him that fight. Eto. Nope. Just making a lovely little mess. The usual. Some decorations over here. Yes, we do. Of course we do. Just some scribbles. Give the illusion that you've got something. Just mimic the AI. Aha. See, there's always things you can learn. Never ending story. That's all I wanted. Now where to attach this lovely little piece of comment that we have going. Could be part of what he's wearing, just a cape thingy. What is he wearing? A cape? Could be. But he did hear from another NPC that capes are not something you'd want to wear in battle because they can be your downfall. Could be interesting to let this fella actually wear a cape to make it easier for them to tackle him. But that could be too much. Maybe it's one of those short capes. So yeah, in his early days of his awakening, this Manshoon clone called him so Ernest. Why Ernest? Why so serious? I mean, why not? Kinda grew on that name a little bit. It fits. No, we went this one. Yes. Maybe he's wearing this fancy weird red outfit. And this is just one of those things that there's a total happening. Why not? But yeah, if there's some more information that you'd like to hear about Manshoon, also feel free to ask that in chat. I may know the answer, but sometimes I have to look up things too. It's like the DM special skills, know where to find what. But at least that's my superpower. I know where to find what. I always have my books. And as long as I know where to find what, pretty sure I can answer quite a few questions, and may not answer them during the stream, but always afterward. Sure thing. This could work. It's an interesting, weird outfit. I mean, a thing that people will remember interesting characters by are either a very weird outfit like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Woohoo! Don't know if anyone watches that, but love that show. Might have scared away a few folk just mentioning JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Yeah, it's a taste. Don't worry, I won't chitter-chatter the entire stream about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Don't worry. And hello, Baima. So you ask, so him being a vampire, does this mean Manshoon was also a vampire, or did he get these powers after being cloned? No, actually, there was a thing with this. This fellow got bitten by a vampire while he was kept in stasis, like the backup clone. So he's actually a backup clone of a clone. If you're still following that part, who got taken by a vampire. So Manshoon originally is not a vampire. Just this fellow is, and in combination with all the knowledge that Manshoon once possessed, it makes him an extra dangerous vampire. Still indecisive about his haircut. Maybe a full-grown beard or something. Nah, just this old-fashioned dandy. A total crouch. That is it. What if? Like some golden jingle jangle right over there. I mean, why not? And what type of golden jingle jangle? I have no clue. And I know this is pink. I know this is the color pink, but I'm working with a color palette. So, and I might deviate from this color palette soon enough. Jingle jangles. Why not? Ooh-wee, I had to sneeze. Tried to hide that one. There's decoration right over there. Boop, 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 boop. Could be that nice decoration here too, in the shape of a yeah, it's like you have a belt or something, but at a odd spot. Follow-up question. Him being in stasis, what would happen if no one got him out of there while all the other clones had died? Does going out of his stasis mode happen automatically after the last Manshoon clone died? What I set up in my game, at least in my game for yeah, that I run and previous hat run, that would be the end of line for him. He'd be a goner, because that's how you get them to stop. There's always the rule within my setting or my rulebook that one Manshoon clone has to be alive to activate or awaken the other clone, the backup clone that is in stasis. So to tackle them, you gotta tackle two clones that are running about, one aware, one unaware, and then the third one is in stasis, so it's sleeping. It does age. So if they all age and they don't think about creating another backup, it will be the end of the line. So all three of them, the Sleeping Beauty, the two that are awake, one of which is unaware, and the other one is aware, or at least aware of him being the Manshoon and only knowing that he is the Manshoon going completely cranky and crazy. So you got those two. And yeah, you gotta tackle those main two, the ones that are awake. If you take care of them, you got rid of your Manshoon problem, because they won't be able to wake the other one that is sleeping. Like the sleeper is gonna die. Eventually it will age. It will still age while sleeping. So you're gonna get rid of them. That's how you get rid of them. Get rid of the two that are awake before they can wake up the third one. And if the third one is awake, prevent them from making more clones. And the moment they create another clone, it starts as a wee baby. So, and that wee baby is not going to be able to do much. They're not going to create or clone an entire grown man. So all of the clones that are present have different ages. So there's an age gap between them. It's still the same man and different haircut, different but they all kind of look alike, like they're brothers. But all of them have their own unique lifestyle. It's like they're twins or something that yeah, you'd recognize him, but the age differences do make it tacky, both for yeah, to actually call them out on, hey, are you related? Unless you're really good and you have a passive perception per se that is higher than 13 or 14, you're not gonna notice them as being related. They are pre-programmed to start to at least have a background, backup clone the moment they are the Manshoon, and the Manshoon is the one that has left. I know it all sounds very complicated, but I love those complicated gameplay into a campaign. I wanted to do more with Manshoon. Manshoon sounds so dull. Oh, there's a clone of Manshoon, and that's it. That's just it for Waterdeep. So I took the effort upon myself to make it more intricate and have an entire gameplay behind how to get rid of Manshoon once and for all. How to get rid of this bastard, and what do you have to do to eliminate this big bad evil guy, and what would he do if you start pissing him off or get in his way, and those sort of things. That there are trigger points for the clones. Just to give names, this one is, I'm gonna write it down. Hold up. We have four. We're back with a H. Now there's the Manshoon in the games that I run. This one also, no clue, he is a clone, but he does clone himself. This is always the one that clones himself, the one that is going kind of nuts and insane, proclaiming that he is the Manshoon, believing he's the original. They're not. It's all a clone. The original died a long time ago. It's like a bit of the Clone Wars from Star Wars. That kind of situation it's what they're stranded in. So when we have the Manshoon believing that he is the Manshoon, calling himself Sensory Manshoon, makes a backup if he notices that there is no backup. But there's also the one who is unaware that he's a clone, taking his own name, wandering around. This is in case of this Manshoon clone to die. So there's always 3 in the game, and this one is sleeping. So we're gonna have these C's over here. Oh yeah, there you have it. That's the entire rundown. That's how they cycle and go about. I'm gonna get rid of this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. At least that's how I work with my game to make it more interesting, to make Manshoon an interesting fella to have as a combatant. Orbeck is not cloning himself. He's not, he's tired of his own being, he's tired of life, he's depressed, he wants to go down, so he's doing a lot to get the party's attention, and he's going after the NPCs you love and like, and he's gonna smack them down. Either kidnap them at first, and then it's starting with torture, and then getting worse and worse and worse. He's taken upon it himself to bother other NPCs in-game that characters will later on meet as well. Because he's trying to get an epic battle that will be the finals for him. He is, Orbeck, aka Ernest, is aware that he is a Manshoon clone. One of the few that is actually aware of his own situation. Like, oh, I'm a clone. And that is because he got bitten by the vampire Orlac. Not to be confusing in names. And he took part of the name of the vampire because defeating that vampire took some effort, so he wanted to honor that man and what lays that vampire by taking part of that name. So foregoing on the Ernest saga. Really, what kind of haircut do I want for Ernest? I'm gonna make another copy over here. I think people really close to him would still refer to him as Ernest. But everyone else, Orbeck, because that's how he's introduced to the party. I think I'm gonna make another wave over here. No, this is not a haircut I want for this evil bad guy now. Nah. A little shorter, brush it up. And have things stuck down behind. Pointy easy or nay. I mean, he is a turned vampire. Do turned vampires have ears? So yeah, for Ernest, it's again, it's the end of the line. He doesn't want to clone himself. He's not interested in all of that because he is self-aware of being a clone that has been turned into a vampire, and he's just tired. He's done with it. He can't procreate. He can't have children. He can't have the family that he desired to have. So, and he's lost over the course of his lifespan. He's lost like 3 or 2 wives already that he had to bury because they got old and he did not. So he's done with it. He's had it, and that's why he's turned foul over the years, trying to get someone strong to take him down because he wants to go down with honor in his mind. His little twisted mindset. It's like, yeah, people have to defeat me, and that's how I want to go down. Big epic battle, but no one dares to come near me, so I start to become a bully. Maybe then I'll get their attention. And that kind of character trait I kind of nicked from my grandfather on my mother's side, because he was a total bully and a plague for the family on that side from the stories I've heard. Never knew the man. And somewhat, I do wish I knew him, because I can't pass any judgment on him, and he must have had his reasons for all of his irritation and undoings. And I want to know why. So yeah, based on the stories, he's got some traits from my grandpa, being bitter and old, and yeah, not only just old, depressed, and manic depression. Like he has his I'm God Almighty moments, and then the whole to the hell and everything. So certainly mentally he's an interesting character to be dealt with. Thank you! Oh hey, welcome Icy Moon! How are you doing? Yeah, I'm going to tinker with some light and shadows, because I love this color palette, but I can't get, you know, the real depth into it the way I want to. So here we go. Boop, boop, boop. Couldn't stick to the palette. Oh! Let me see. Brightness, contrast. Yes. There we go. To honor a little bit of this palette. Yeah, we are going for some creepy stuff. Yeah, I like the creepy stuff. So I'm tackling some blue. I could go for purple or pink, but I've done that in previous sessions as well, so I'm thinking, yeah, technically, isn't that getting a little bit dull? Just some rough edges on where I want this light to go and where it shines. Oh, wrong layer. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. And good to know that you're doing lovely. I'm doing good too. I'm doing good. This is one of the most common artist mistakes. Ah, wrong layer. So I have to use the Ctrl-C to get rid of that. Oh, there we go. Oh, all of that work. No. Luckily, I didn't get too far on it. This is the layer I want. Oof, oof, oof. Here, so we don't have any messy mess up. Speaks to glow too. And I'm still debating about his physique. Like, I could make him super bulky or just a very thin, ailing man. And in that aspect, if I'd keep him on the thinner side, he'd be representing my grandfather a wee bit more. I'm not a clue if that's a good idea or bad, because that would mean I'm vilifying my grandpa, whom I've never known. I don't think my mother would mind, because my mother never liked the man, but it's not how I want to remember him, my grandfather, even though I have no clue about who he is. I like to see the better side. Maybe some character traits, as a thing for people to learn and cope with, that mental issues are real. And far more difficult to cope with than one may comprehend. And back in the day, there wasn't a thing that you could do about them, because they weren't as well treated or known. What's over there? go. Alright, I'm gonna park that thought. Whoop. They don't want it too much in my face. And I'm gonna play around with a color balance. Heck yeah. It's like Gaslight, all the way red. Woo. It's like the warm colors. Purple, green. Mean and green. Like certain colors have a certain theme that it calls forward. Oh wow! Oh, thank you so much! I'm certainly gonna use it to upgrade some of the icons that I've been meaning to upgrade as well. Thank you, Isimu. Thank you so much. As an art reward, you are going to get a original file, the PSD file, and the PNG file, because this is Evermore art, so it's a more of a pay what you want. So you're going to get the files once I'm done with them. And I will clean up the PSD file too, so you can snoop around and tweak with it. Dum, 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 dum. Those are the halftones. For the shadow... Oh, that's much. I like it though, but it's much. It's too much. I am not doing a challenge like work with red solely only. Like, that would be nice, but not what I'm doing. A little bit here, a little bit there. So these are the halftones and the highlights. Let me look at the chat. Thank you. Have fun feeding the animals and really give your donkey a big hug. Love that fella. Because I believe you have donkeys. Let me see. Alright. We deviated from the color schedule officially. Oops. And I'm not gonna even... Yeah, nah, that's okay. Gonna go for multiply. Have some shadows. I set multiply. There we go. And something we want. Nah. I merge this and move on. These would be some darker gaps right over there. Just gonna add this over here as well, just giving the allure of he could be more brawny than what you'd first think at first sight. Now I'm thinking of it, I haven't done the web canvas yet. I think also for solid reason been avoiding that one. No. Oh, gonna get myself a heart attack soon. Do. Let us see. Yay! I wanted to say, oh, it's not so bad, but I see some fixes. Oof. It's okay. I can always draw over things. I mean, what did we learn from Bob Ross? Good old Bob Ross would tell us, there's no thing as mistakes. It's just happy accidents. And yeah, you know what? He's right. He is so right about it. Yeah, I was thinking about the whole glowy part, but kind of came down with that one, like, nah, maybe have done it too many times already, so. And no sideburns. It makes him less villainy. I mean, it makes him look more hilarious. There is a thing that I do for male and female characters. For the male characters, I tend to use more square, straight corners, and for the females, roundish corners. It's stereotype number one to get a difference between the genders ASAP. Squares, circles. Tends to work. And hey, if it works, it works. Crazy eyebrows right over here. Do. Yeah, I have a bit of a V-shaped nose. More decoration right over there. flipping compass again. Time to compare them to our previous version. Ooh. Oh, the other one does. This one looks more genuinely like sinister compared to the one that we have now. But that can be changed. I got me with my clipping mask on the multiply layer. I think I'm a bit of my favorite too. Oop. Yeah, I'm going drastic. Goes down to light. And that also means I gotta do something about the background being too mellow-y. Let's give that a good change. Also, hey, and welcome to the chat for those who have joined us and are new. Feel free to ask any questions, and I'm going to turn off reference over here. Yeah. So have that reference in mind, the orange E thing. Just gonna change the background a wee bit more with a tonal correction. It's a pop-up menu. You cannot see it in the stream, but I can. And you can see the after effects of it. Woohoo! It's a bit much. Just using a tool to get some colors. Flip. Staring at our lovely reference over here. Yeah, it's more of a to the front type of light and shadows, but is that really what I want? Hey, hey, hey! I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing? Gift of Gabby 1. Or should I say Gift of Gabby? This is also fun, just to go grab your gummy and what comes out of the shadow first? Well, that's a nose. Maybe a chin. Some cheeks. Gift is fine. Oh, right, gift. Thank you. Oh, you think of throwing one of your NPCs? That's lovely. Tell me more about them. Love to know. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna merge this. And now we're gonna do some magic. There's a blending brush that has our name on it. Because 99% of the time, as an artist, you're rendering. And I know this is still a bit of a rough sketch, but oh yeah! Time to turn tables. And also make a save before I forget. So we can run back and cry in a corner when it fails. Always keep your saves around. If you draw on one layer, that is. If you have multiple layers, you shouldn't be too worried about making too many changes. I find it incredible how people can work on, like have the eyes on a separate layer, have the clothing on separate layers. Like, it still baffles me, like, how do you do it? How do you keep track of all of that? And that's got layer order, and I know. I'm so bad with that. I'm also going to give good sir over here some battle scars. After I'm done messing up his face. Time for a soft brush. I mean, the painterly brush is really good for when you have a beard going on and you want to do the beardy effect. Oh, he looks so young right now. Oof. I'll make a grandpa out of this again. Tiny mustache. Yeah, I would say he'd be able to keep up with himself. At least he's not in that kind of corner of depression where he lets go of his appearance. Oh, perhaps a couple of grey hairs. That'll do, that'll do. Like those typical stereotype grey hairs. I mean, there's no set of rules for turned vampires. I'm not sure if they're like they're immortal or still age. Pretty sure there's something written about it somewhere in the corner, the internet. Don't want it to be too neat of a stroke. Yeah, sure, a couple of grey locks here or there, but it's not usually how people turn grey. It's like parts and bits. Oh, let me read. Alright, so his name is Ulrich Set Yorick. Ooh, oh, you got me there. Yorick. A war boar, a cruel leader, basically a monster folk nation. He conquered the various tribes and villages of the Carian Valley, and he is very much lawful evil, a kind of an oath of conquest, Pally vibes. Ooh, that sounds awesome. I like it. Like a war boar, as in a wereboar, or like more of a like I'm trying to put an image in my head. Like, how do I visualize this idea of this NPC of yours? Sounds rad. A couple of grey hairs. Ooh, wait. Aha. More focus there, here. I want to make sure that he hasn't been smiling for quite some time, so he looks or he's perhaps like me, has a resting bitch face. I know I have one. I always look quite crouchy and grumpy according to people. And smiling actually takes effort for me. For people to notice me smiling, I mean. Could be one of them. It's his last name, and he sees himself as the good guy who has to do the bad things for the sake of the peace and equality of the monster folks. Oh, the kind that has evil with a reason. I like that. I also like villainous types who have a solid good reason to do what they're doing, even if it's not making any sense. It's still pretty insane according to the general public. It's for them. It is a reason. A little bit more. I still want the ears to resemble like human ears, but they can be more outward. A bit of a old man kind of type ears. Box over here, maybe. Well, that could be dandy. I mean, as for Ernest, there is an age difference going on. Between him and the other clones, and he's using the name Allback. thought I still got some time. Still got like 45 minutes before I have to end the stream and cook up dinner. I want some subtle lighting over there. Don't want the eyes to be, you know, clearly having bags underneath them because his waking hours are well, and his sleeping pattern is no good. He still walks and talks around as his former life, as human. So this vampire is not getting enough sleep. He tries to be up during the day, and it's finesse. He can't step into the sunlight. He can't sunbask. All the things he used to do. Can't have a family. It's just really frustrating him to no ends. That's why he's such a sour old man. Oh, I'm working with that brush over here already. Oh, dandy. Oh yeah, he may look like Manshoon because he is a clone, but this one has some realization that he, yeah. Interesting. No, I don't want to blend. I just want this. Yes. How better. Oh, what's for dinner? What's for dinner is potatoes, veggies, and meat. It's quite Dutch. And potatoes take a while, so I have to quit around 5 o'clock. I'll make this a different color because it is more of a belt-like thing. I want to go for some perhaps golden. There are certain artists who managed to do this very faint golden, like it's still, you can still recognize it as gold, but it's a very faint, like very old gold. And I have to say, it just looks so red. I've been trying to get the color scheme of that one, or at least mimic it into art pieces of my own, but oh, I gotta admit, struggles. Because then they use an entirely different color palette that I'm using, so it pops up better. One may actually recognize it as such. Right now, this almost looks like just metal. I don't even know what kind of symbols I want over there. You know what? We're gonna leave it at blood. A blood that is doing this and this. Yeah, there, this. Oh yeah, absolutely. Indeed, indeed. Maybe there is some pattern going on over here to make this outfit more, you know, have a thing. Pointy arrows. So we flesh more and more into this character as I speak and go and mention things about our Ernest, who has taken the name all back. Like if you join our Discord, then you may do some suggestions, and who knows, maybe I'll be drawing one of your suggestions. As long as they're doing these themes, I'm fine. And I still have to think about some good prices, or at least some very good ways to also be interactive with the community. And I was thinking, because I do love NPCs, and this is just a little bit presumptuous of me, or at least early on for announcements or anything like it, that if anyone has an NPC that I really love and they end up donating or subscribing X amount of something in the future, so this is far-fetched future, I'll be drawing their NPC on a live stream, and I'll take up to an hour for it. Depending on the amount that they deposit, I could take up 2 hours for it. I still have to set up some rules for that. Some pieces of fabric that it could actually be wool as well, just some wool and woven into this whole wacky outfit. Why not? Why not? I mean, if I were yeah, to try and put myself in his shoes, having accumulated probably over the years wealth and stuff like that, I just want to probably have my own little style as well, as in clothing. Bit of a market trade market thingy. And I might be grumpy too if I'm not allowed outside during the day. Like, ugh. It's when most of the fun people are out. I want to play with them too. Come on, man. Oh, that must suck. And on top of that, this man also, Orbak, has to acquire blood, so he'd have to attack townfolk to get to his needs and survive. So, as to speak of his own mental health and well-being, it's not like he's going to starve himself. No, he wants to die in a big battle. So he is greedy. He is personality-wise doing all of these things. Now, to figure out where to put them scars. Have some underneath the clothing that you won't be able to see. Oh, I want some buttons right over there. Also want to announce to people who are listening and tuning in, you can always commission me to do some handiwork. If you really got a particular character that you really would like to have drawn, you can always commission me. You can always email me for prices and stuff like that, like how much does it cost for like 1 hour portraits. Not going to be too difficult about that. That would be about $20, like $20 for a portrait of this caliber. So I'd polish it a little bit more, and that would be $20. It's like a bust. It's hard competition on the art market, so I know I can't ask too much for it. But yeah, feel free to ask me around. Like for fully rendered pieces, that is of course going to cost you a wee bit more, because then I'd have to spend more than 20 hours on it. And if you really calculate how much an artist would earn, I'm busy with a bust for that is still a rough sketch like this one, an hour and a half, and you'd probably make more working in a supermarket. But let's keep it down to that, folks. Maybe Orbeck has a fake eye. Or an eye that has not been functioning as it should. If you got some suggestions for places for scars, let me know in chat and I'll see to it. Perhaps I'll draw them out. Maybe missing a chunk of his ear right over there and here. Scars tell certain stories that people often, well, it really depends on the person, I'd have to say, want to tell or not want to tell, because they always entail a painful experience. Certainly is a story to be told. This scar is a wee bit too straightforward, so I'm gonna adjust it. I'm gonna go draw over this. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bye. I wanna have it more angled, maybe like next layer. Just testing some stuff out. Like here, here, here. Be a claw mark. Well, yeah, that's also a stereotype. It's something everyone has already seen, so maybe we go crossway the face, like over the nose, over the bridge of the nose. Chunk of ear. Chunk over there. That would mean some hair loss too. Oh, you posted his line out. Let me have a look-see. Hold on. Oh, that's so cute. Would you like me to show it and share it in our stream as well? So I copy-paste that lovely face into my working area before I focus back on my drawing. So everyone can enjoy this precious moment. Alright, here we go. Let's see. Copy and paste. Just gonna enlarge it a little bit so people can have a better look. Scale. There we go. That's made by GIF. Right in the chat. So it is an interactive stream. it certainly is. I love it. I also love the tusk right over there that you've made. And I believe, yeah, it is amazing. I like it. Reminds me of a half orc. Or a full orc, could be too. Really depending on your color palette. I'm not yet sure. But nice job. Really. Oh, I did that on this layer. Oops. Still deciding about where to put the scars. It's 9 out of 10 times that as an artist you're busy deciding what goes where and according to the story, if you have that kind of freedom. Otherwise it's premeditated by the big boss who has the grand ideas. Could be a creative director, it could be the art director. If that's not the case, it's all up to you and you gotta go wing it. And then you gotta hit the spot that is like what Brunette always says. He is to be followed on YouTube for amazing advice, by the way. Make it interesting. Make it so that it is something no one else has seen before. Now, this looks more like a bear attack. And if I'm really gonna go think about it, how would an attack from an owlbear, what kind of result would you have? Like an owlbear going at you from D&D. Or even better yet, a mimic. Like have your face stuck in a mimic's mouth. Oh, that's gonna look shambles. Hold up. So let's say he got bitten by a mimic right in the face. And not a small mimic, tell you what. No, a big one. I don't think those scars would be nice. Yeah, I mean, for everyone's reference, a mimic is a treasure box that pretends to be a treasure box and has gnarly, sharp little teeth. I'm just gonna draw it right over here. Grrr. One of the icons I intend on adding to the Discord chat that I have, and to a Twitch for people to use or mimic expressions, and oh man, I have ways for many creative icons that I can come up with. And I was planning on doing that together with Lars, also from Twitch, another fellow artist. How does a mimic boy look? I mean, oh, that's not gonna look good. Like, imagine him to have his head like like that. It's gonna be gnarly. So that means like teeth over here, teeth mark that would go that way, this way, then the other way, of course. I have to think about that. Because the teeth are like they're like little hooks. So once you get inside of that gnarly thing, face forward or from the side. Maybe from the side it could make for an interesting tail. And it explains the missing ear part as well. Let's see what we can do with this. Given the information, we still have like 30 minutes to go for some interesting makeup and lookup. Whew. To add an interesting story to tell about a character. Yeah, if it's bitten by a mimic, oh, I can't believe, blimey, that's gonna hurt. Gonna hurt so much. I would believe that no matter how much you try, you'd still have those scars running over your head, and oh, that's gonna hurt. Of course, there's some hair growth that will grow back. Let me know what you guys think of this. In terms of, yeah, I am making this up as I go. Having your head stuck in a mimic chest. Yeah, that's oof. Or getting bitten by a mimic. Makes some nasty scars. So, Orbak the Night King could also be referred to as Orbak the Mimic Face, because he got bitten by a mimic. Oh, that'd be sad. Real sad. Yeah, it would be a very epic scar, believe you me, to at least tell you a story. Like, how did that happen? Well, I got bitten by a mimic. And if people would ask, like, what happened to the mimic? It's right over there, stuffed in a corner, used as a chest. A treasure chest. An actual treasure chest. Huh. So needless to say that he wouldn't let that mimic go after that little incident. We have some eyebrow tissue, yeah we do, but only imagine how furious he must have been with the mimic. Like, absolute rad. Let me make a copy of this layer so we can remember. Goes right over there. And there we go. We can merge this, really make a clear difference, as in it'll be something he would be able to help. Probably keep that part hair a wee bit shorter on this side to match up with the scars. Or proudly showing it. Maybe he'd tell a tale of I got hit by an owlbear or something. Would he lie about the mimic? I'm not sure. I mean, if I were a peasant, and I am a peasant, I'd be bragging about a mimic scar, because I survived the mimic. Maybe not so much brag-worthy for adventurers or something, maybe they're embarrassed about it, but still, could be worth. Yeah. Really find that thinking about whether or not it should be something he's ashamed of or something he'd brag about. Like, yeah, you should see the mimic now. It's an actual treasure box. Turned it into one. And it goes without words that it's like you are not by default a villain if you have scars. Absolutely not. Scars are a story, a very personal story that's either up to a person to tell or not. And in this case, I'm still debating about it heavily. And Orbak is, I would say, our Ernest. He's not evil to be evil. He is evil because of some mental issues and making the wrong choices, and how he deals with things. That's his choice ultimately, but from society perspective, he deals with them the wrong way. Oh wow! Thank you for the follow. I see Poop Panty for the new follower. Thank you. Love the username, it's really funny. It makes me think of what I called my cat just 2 days ago. I called him Mr. Poopy Pants because he came back with a dirty butt and parked it on my new jeans. And I had to toss my jeans in the laundry because of it. Nice. A good chunk of Aegon. Given it some thought, I don't think he'd be ashamed of the mimic attack. He'd just gesture towards the chest that is behind his throne and point at the result of what the mimic has become. Being a badass grandpa. But yeah, story-wise, he'd be more inclined to have something of the Joker without actually joking around, because he's bloody serious about wanting to go down with a good fight, an honorable death from his point of view. Meaning that people have to defeat him for him to actually stop doing what he's doing. So he's antagonizing, bullying, and teasing people around town to get what he wants, his epic final battle. Oh, you posted the flats! Wow! I'm gonna have a look. Hold up. Let me zoom out a little bit, because zooming in too much on your work can be fatality. Let me have a look at. Oh wow! Indeed! I love the colors. And hey, there's some grey hairs too. I'm gonna show it. It looks so nice. Super proud of you. Pace. And scale and rotate. There we go. Oh, I love the little curls that he has. I believe you're going for some really curly hair over there. Am I right? Along with some jewelry, some nose piercing, eyebrow piercing, multiple ear piercings. Lovely outfit. And I really love the eye color and the tusks. Those are the things that I really love. Like the tusks make it like along with the lovely ears. Thank you for sharing this with us. I'm gonna go use the blender brush a wee bit. See if I can sort out some mess over here that I made. Like, mimic attacks can be very brutal, at least that's how I imagine them and envision them to be. So I envision him to miss a good part of his nose, or at least have a chunk over here that's gone. And I've given him a bit of a standard nose. I'm looking to probably change that. go. Now I have the touch screen enabled, so and it's really handy because I can select multiple layers that I'm working on with my other hand, and you know, I have the control. But sometimes when I stroke over it with my pencil or rub over it with my left hand, because I'm left-handed, the screen goes blur. I'm supposed to have natural. Wow, I like that. I like that. It's really inspiring to see other people have so much fun with drawing their NPCs. I love that. As for Orbach, our dear Ernest, he has a couple of weak points. And no, it's not going to be the obvious garlic. But I wouldn't stake to the heart an obvious one. We'll really put this vampire down once and for all. It's not gonna get him back up again the moment you remove that. Have to perform a ritual to get him back up again. And he'd be incredibly mad if you do that, because then he finally gets his epic battle, and then centuries later some whack job wakes him up again. Oh, imagine the hell he's gonna give people. I want him to have this pointy nose that droops down a bit. It's like this old man's nose, you know how old men kinda, you know, and also old women too, don't forget, women too. As we grow older, as all humans, we get at that point, our noses continue to grow, our ears continue to grow, so they get a little enlarged for our faces, and it looks kind of funky. It's a nice feature. I mean, you get to grow old. Not mentioning how, of course. I mean, oof. Yeah, I still have to work on a nose job. I mean, whew. Dum, dum, dum. I'm trying to keep more of an eye on the chat now that it's a little bit more active than what I'm used to. I got a trick for this. If you struggle with eye color, or at least giving the eye that glazy shadow that eyes actually have, we have a layer over here, we add another layer. Now we zoom in. Nothing too far, of course, because it's crazy. Look at that mess. We're keeping a decent distance so we can still recognize our subject. Eyeball. We clip that layer toward the other layer, so whatever we do, we don't go past its borders. We're gonna go get rid of this. Boop, boop, boop. And we're gonna select multiply. Or multiply. Multiply. Potato, potato. We use a soft brush. With soft ashes. With soft edges, pardon me. English. To create a bit of a undertone. And then we use another layer. Going for that same little brush. And in fact, if someone has like a dead eye, it's either very glazy or you know, it has some charisma to it, I believe. It's really depending on how the eye is damaged. I'm using that in between. Sometimes they miss a pupil, sometimes they miss more. It really depends. You can always look up images for references on our dear lovely Google to help you out. And as for artists, sometimes I make it more interesting. I do the same thing. This is not how an actual dead eye is supposed to look like. They have many shapes and forms, and sometimes less romanticized. It's not always a pretty sight to behold, and is the reason why some people want to wear an eye patch, because they get gawked at. And I find that, yeah, sad in a way, because everything has its beauty. But that is me. Let me see. Maybe without looking up actual disturbing images, I can get close from what I remember or recall. I mean, one thing I know for sure that it's not always used in arts. So that could be a unique turning point. I'm gonna leave it more at the allure of the eye to be damaged and scar than taking a whole lot of time to actually draw that one out. Because we still have like 8 minutes to go before I really gotta go. Yeah, but I guess an impression. I just added a few more thief mark on spots that I thought, like, yeah, that could be a location for the mimic too, to, you know, if he's been grabbed from the side, from a particular side of his face. Number one, ouch. Number two, it's gonna leave a bite. And here we go. Just marking some things down. So we have about 2 hours stream. What we do in 2 hours, how far we got. And believe you me, I'll still have to set up that schedule, that streaming schedule of mine that I keep on talking about every time I stream. To make it easier for people to go catch me when I'm drawing. And I have plenty of subjects that I can draw and work on. So then I'm gonna give him some lipstick or something, just a little bit of a color that I wanted to go for. Come on. There we go. You can always wonder and ask yourself, like, what makes a character, original character, stand out so much? Shape of the nose, that works. Like, if it's a standard straight nose that we always see in anime or they're not gonna remember this. Like, oh, that's kind of the same face syndrome. But if it has a crooked nose, something like that, makes it easy to remember. And brings more character into what you are trying to get at. Now I'm doing a phase 4 project, like so, a lot of fun, and it tends to be a little bit difficult to get your noses right over there. You can always practice them around, like, hey, what is a nose? Remember, it's a triangle. It's always a triangle with some perspective to it. You could almost say diamond. That's how you shape them, like the basic forms. At least that's how I go by them. And sometimes I am just winging it. As I'm doing with this old man's nose. I keep on calling him Old Man, and that's because of a reference that is from my campaign that one of the NPCs calls him Old Man. Not entirely, they're not related or anything. But they are known with the works from one another, and they don't like each other. And hello, welcome, Red One Art. Thank you, Icy Moon. Welcome back. I hope you had some nice time with animals. They're well fed right now. Technically, I've still got like 30 minutes before I really have to get up and do something. I might want to take this into 50 minutes, so I still have some time to work on potatoes. So we're working on Old Man Orbach, formerly known as Ernest. Oh, Ernest. Guess he really had it. But yeah, it's got nothing to do with his scar. That is something he may not even care too much about. I don't think he cares a whole lot about appearances, other than showing up decently, for as far as he calls it that. Other characteristics and traits that he has is that he goes to pretty any extinct to get pretty any length to get the attention of what he assumes to be the strongest in town to come and defeat him. If he notices that the strongest in town is a villain, or from his point of view a villain, he doesn't show really interest. He wants to go out by what he believes to be heroes. He wants to go out with a fight, and he doesn't want to give that honor or credit to one of the villains in town. He wants someone super strong to defeat him, which kind of makes him a villain by the things he does, because he goes after a lot of NPCs that are in town, and he is not nice. He actually just brutally murders them, and at one point the players in the party will notice his undoings, as he will notice their power. They're growing stronger, they're being the heroes of the town. He will try to get their attention by all means, and that means tossing dead bodies at that troll school manor, at that beloved manor, in order to grab their attention. In this case, the party seeks him out a little early on, which is funny and lovely. So they catch him before he becomes more ridiculous in his actions. And he's pretty well, it's pretty, on one side it's easy to defeat him as for player characters, but it is possible. And yeah, the donkey is back outside now. He was very excited to go outside again. Woo! I believe that for sure. That's nice. Oh man, I love donkeys. They're the best. They're so cute. I'm still tinkering, and I came up with the idea that he's been having some misfortune with a mimic. But hey, he turned that mimic into a treasure chest, an actual treasure chest. So, yeah, if you ask like who's of worse, I'd definitely say that it's the mimic. Which is one of the lootable items for the party to fetch, which is behind his throne, having a treasure chest that was a mimic once. So it bites no more. Its fangs are still sharp, but you can handle it with ease. I actually have a tool for hair. I'm just not using it. I don't want to. I don't know why. I have a tool for hair and a lovely brush that is specifically made to, you know, brush away and brisk at hair, but I'm not using it. Oh, let me read. So he was trotting next to you and making a lot of noise, silly boy, and was happy to see you, and the alpaca's after him getting bitten by one. But yeah, that's the alpaca inside of him. I believe that alpacas are rascals too. A good friend of mine has 2 alpacas, and the moment they greet me, as in how they greet people in general, is like they turn their butt to you and they try to tough at you, but then they don't actually tough. But they still try it, but it doesn't, you know, nothing comes out of there. Like, are you trying to spit on me? Oh, what are you doing, you silly alpaca? But they're quite fine with getting pets and cuddles. They're quite tame for alpacas. They're weird. I just have to say alpacas are weird but lovable. Mustache. Yeah, I haven't done too much with the clothing that he's wearing because I've been focusing more on his face, and that, after all, folks, is the most important. Focus on what you want people to actually stare and look at when you draw something. And if we have this picture, this reference picture over here, the first thing that is drawing my attention is his belt, like right in the middle. It's not his face, it's not the mask, but that's also because of the perspective that it's been drawn on. Oh, you got a bit of a mix between an alpaca and a llama walking around, and that looks silly. I believe that. That is something I've never heard of. Alpaca and llama crossbreed. That's new to me. It almost sounds like something from Minecraft. Love it though, love it. I'm just giving him a little bit of a curl at the end of his mustache. Yeah, that makes the picture total. I mean, I know it's stereotype, like mustache, because, you know, ooh, he's a villain, he has a curl, ooh. No, not necessarily, and same goes for people with scars. You don't, just because you have a scar doesn't mean you're a villain. It's a story. Something happens. And it's either a story you can brag about or something you may be a bit embarrassed of. Or both. Both is a thing too. And in this case, I'm turning it into not entirely a comedy scar, but a little bit, because, you know, getting bitten by a mimic, oof. Mimics are ferocious beings in the D&D universe, and I love them. Thing to do for parties is to go adopt their own mimic, and it is very much possible in the settings that I DM. There's usually your Shades and Shadows, which is a magical shop that sells the small trinket box-sized mimics. They won't do much for attacks, but they are tiny and really good at keeping your coin safe, even from you. But yeah, all in all, in general, they are trainable. But it takes a whole lot of patience to go train a mimic. Hey, everything is possible if you just take enough effort. And let me read. So he has the size of a llama and the fur of one, but he looks like an alpaca, and he is such a silly boy when he runs. Oh my, I would love to see pictures of that. That sounds amazing. That sounds so wonky. It just makes me laugh thinking about it. I need a wee bit more shine right over there. Doop, 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 doop. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna turn off this reference right over there. Tidy up a few more things. And of course make a little save over here, saving point. Haha, yeah, feel free to DM me with the pictures of your boy. That sounds lovely. There's another artist thing. You can't see it because you can't see me, because I'm not using a camera, I'm using a PNG image. So you have something to stare at. But as an artist, and when you're working on a project, you're working on paper, you start to hunch forward to get a closer look at your art and your line work and everything that you're doing on that piece of paper. And I've noticed that when I'm working on paper and digital, I do the same thing with a digital drawing as well. But I can zoom in, I don't have to hunch over or forward. There's a zoom in button, and I keep forgetting that I have that. There's also the Control-Alt-Delete trick in my mind that I apply on paper. And then the mistake I made doesn't go away, and my mind gets bamboozled by it. Like, oh yeah, digital. So yeah, there is a thing. I need this to be... having a few lighter places. And I'm picking up the Painterly blender. Nice, have a good look. If I were to render this piece, I'd take up to, yeah, 20 plus hours perhaps. And then going with the full skin little details, like the little pores, zooming in. And no, not hand drawing all of that, of course, because there's amazing epic brushes for it, but it's layer upon layer, stacking, going back forward, merging the layers. If you've seen, I've done so a couple of times because I like to work on one layer. Except for when it's a project and I know that I need multiple layers for a certain thing, then I switch my tactics with some grunts, because I don't like working on multiple layers. I like everything on one layer eventually, so I can paint over that and make it pretty. Just going to quickly duplicate this one and look, there we go. We have our eraser. Something we want. No, not entirely. Grabbing a soft brush. There's also a trick to have light behind the ears. If there's light behind the ears, they show a more faint, or at least a brighter orange. Just to create a little bit more depth, so we can see what it does. This is what a multiply layer does. And I'm not entirely in agreement with our soft brush right over there, so I'm using this one. It's the older version. Just a quick peek to have the differences. Yeah, I don't have enough time to actually go through the entire soft brush process, so I'm just going to leave it to this. Create a clipping mask so I can merge some of the results. And this is also where I'm going to end the stream. Let's see if there's someone else still streaming, one of my pals. Nothing right now at the moment. Well, I'm gonna say have a good night. I'm off to cook some dinner, and hopefully you have some lovely meals as well. Cheers!